Hello, friends. Welcome to this week's What's Going On. Congratulations, you made it. You made it another week. We're so happy to have you here at our weekly roundtable hangout. I don't know how else to say it. So open your beverage of choice, pop that edible, partake in your drug of choice, or just sit there clear-eyed and clear-headed and enjoy the show. The show is for you, but you're also part of the show. Feel free to hop into that chat at any time. Say hi, or just let us know what's going on. Let us know what your opinion on what we're talking about. Anything. The show is for you, and so enjoy it. I'm going to bring out my three guests tonight, or I should say my two guests and my ever-present guest extraordinaire / co-host / Rachel, just Rachel. So welcome everybody. Please welcome Rachel and Grace and Jess. What is up, friends?
Hello.
Hey.
Thanks for being here. This is normally the part of the show where we go around and we introduce ourselves, and we still can, but you're all old guests of the show. You've been on many times. We love having you on. So very quickly, for those who might not know, tell everybody where else they might see you. Yeah, pop that edible.
You
Rachel,
reminded me.
Let's start with you. Where can everybody see you when they're not seeing you here?
I do a weekly show on this channel called Joy of Posting every Wednesday at 9 p.m. EDT. Where you guys can stop by and say hi and watch me write jokes and chat with you all. I'm also on some of the 69 shows that are every other Friday at 9 p.m. EDT, where we tell dirty jokes. And also, I'm doing a little live improv. My team, several people with seats, is performing at Remnant Brewery. There's a lot of pill sounds. It's okay.
I was thinking that too. You're doing
Jess
great,
is like
Rachel.
a little
You're doing so great.
raccoon.
Keep it going. It does not undermine all of your amazing accomplishments. I promise.
It's cool. This is bring back a lot of childhood memories. Just talking about my day, listen to pills get.
There we go. Jess, I've muted you just for the moment. Rachel, they're going to see you at Remnant Brewery, 7 o'clock next Sunday, if they'd like.
Yeah, next Sunday. And then I believe we have a union comedy show, I believe the 19th. That's a Friday night, I believe at 10 p.m. EDT. With the newly opened union comedy. We're very excited to perform there.
593 Somerville Avenue. Come on by. Fantastic. Thanks for being here, Rich. Grace, what's going on, friend?
I'm Grace, and I don't have as many amazing accomplishments as Rachel. I won't pull out my whole list, but I am doing Quarantine Action Wrestling on Thursdays on 2MB at 8 p.m., and we are going through, I think, the end of October. So that is my deal.
Nice.
And I'm here.
I actually referred to you earlier today as Claire because I was so tired, and I was talking about you, and I said Claire, and then it was to Rachel, and Rachel's like, "Who?"
Everybody
and I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Am I supposed to know who that is?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course, it's Grace."
Claire Bear, yep, that's me.
So that's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, Kit, thanks for watching the show. Welcome to the show, bud. Jess, hi.
Hi.
Where can we see? Where can we see you?
Hi, I'm about to be.
If not here, yes.
Again, I thoroughly apologize for chewing my edible too loud, but really it's Ben's fault because he reminded me I had edibles. Let's see. So the second and fourth Friday of the month, Ben and I, right here, we do the Midnight Creep Out. So this coming Saturday, the 10th, at technically 12 a.m. the next day, but it's midnight on Friday night, right? I had previously announced on Friend Theft Auto or 69 Minutes of Sex with Me that we were going to do spontaneous human combustion, as Kit Tempest, who is in the chat, had suggested. However, some new cryptid footage has come to light. And because of that, I think we may be actually possibly finally covering Bigfoot. So I don't know. We'll see. But I think we're going to get a little preview tonight. So that's pretty exciting. You can also see me on Sundays at 7 p.m. right here on 2MB Studios for Simile the Jest, where I stream The Sims 4.
The edible's already hitting her.
You strim?
And she strums as well.
I stream it.
Fantastic. I love that. And yeah, like Jess said, that was a great segue. We are going to jump right in with some newly released footage within the last couple of weeks. This is pretty exciting news for all you cryptozoologists out there. There's brand new footage of a Bigfoot sighting in Idaho. It was sent in to all of the, official Bigfoot sites. And people believe
like
that it
what,
looks...
though? Like what?
Well, that's what I don't know. But apparently, like, they sent it to all the people who are, like, the Bigfoot hunters. You know what I mean? Like, they sent
like
it
the
to them.
BFRO.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
And people have looked at it, and the experts, experts, seem to say it looks realistic. The only knock against it is that it's a very short video, and people keep saying, if you were going to see something so amazing, why wouldn't you continue filming it as long as you could instead of it being such a short clip? That said, like, video people have looked at the video and said it is not photoshopped. It's not faked that way. So it's real footage, whether it's a dude in a suit or not. But if it is, I'm going to leave that up to you. I'm going to share the footage now. We're going to watch it, and we're going to talk about it after we see it. So let's...
This is crazy because I was just watching the Monster Hunters episode, season 1, episode 5 about Bigfoot, and they're like doing a deep dive in the Patterson-Gimlin footage.
Mm-hmm.
So I have something fresh in mind to compare it to.
All right, here we go. And yeah, when we first saw this incredible footage, we were like, is this even real, or is it a man in a suit? After watching the clip and looking at the amount of detail in the suit, we thought something you cannot buy online. The Bigfoot in this video looks very real. You can even make out the heavy build and all the muscles, which is hard to replicate using a fake suit. Who in the right mind would rent or buy a suit just to pull off a small hoax like this? For what? There's no gain other than being ridiculed and so-called epic. There we go.
That's it?
That's it.
God damn it.
You're not convinced?
No, not convinced.
Well, I didn't realize it was that short. It's literally 2 seconds long.
It's literally a 2-second clip.
So, yeah, I have lots of questions.
And now they show this for 11 minutes.
Amazing.
Well, let's pause it. Can we pause it?
Yeah, of course we can. Oh wait, we're watching an ad.
Oh,
apparently.
no, an ad. You gotta pick up premium.
We got my liver's in danger.
Okay, and it's done. Can
I just point out one thing?
Yeah.
I love that they're just like, why would anyone do this? There's no gain from it. And I'm like, your video is monetized. It's 10 minutes long to be monetized.
Right.
You are profiting by definition from this video. We just got through an ad for your dumb video.
I do agree with Kit, though. The dude is thick. Like, if that's a suit.
That's not an argument.
Yeah.
I mean, so if it's a suit, it's a good suit. But what's frustrating to me is, all the stuff that's always frustrating. One, just like you said, why is it too short? Why is it so short, right?
Yeah.
2, I forget what I was going to say.
Oh, edibles kicked in.
No, not even. That's literally not physiologically possible. 2, why is it so grainy? Why is it so... it's not that much better than the Patterson-Gimlin footage, which is like printed on was shot on celluloid in like 1966.
I would like to think if my cell phone could shoot better video than this, I probably could, right? From like, well, how far away is it? That's the thing. I don't know, right? Is it zoomed all the way in?
Right? Yeah.
Because if it is,
Yeah.
you're gonna lose your shit.
Yeah. This is not the original footage, obviously, right? And
Right.
also, like, who shot it? Where were they? What's their story? We're gonna have to do we gotta do a little research here because I am dissatisfied.
I like this.
King Senior, you're right. He's not swinging his arms much.
I like this where they just circle him. We're about to.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. This is his TikTok video.
Oh my god, the TikTok version. Oh my god. In case you were unaware where
he is
and
on
was.
the screen.
Yeah, that's him. I love that so much. He's not even moving. That just. Oh, there he is. I mean,
it's also clear they really like they put the NBTV right in there. Like, what are you, Sandra
I mean,
Lee?
you can
Dr.
see
Pepper
those
Popper?
fingers there, though. Those fingers on the left hand are. That's a really impressive suit if it's a suit. And that ear. I mean,
yeah,
it's impressive. It doesn't look as good here. Yeah, turn off ads is right. Never mind. Okay, so that's
this video is
that's the
super
Bigfoot
monetized.
footage.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But they have no
Most videos
reason.
don't have that many fucking ads. I don't think so.
They have no reason for that, though.
I'm surprised he doesn't turn to the camera. It's like, do you need car insurance?
Like, actually,
I can't believe
ad.
somebody hasn't put music behind it. Somebody should take that video and put different music behind it and make him twerk.
Yeah,
I love that idea. Teach me how to Dougie. We could put a teach me how to Dougie or
Oh my
lean
God.
back.
I love it. Lean back. Yeah, let's
So
try to
many-
lean back.
So many options.
What?
Soldier Boy, I don't know.
Soldier Boy, yeah. I mean, there's
Soulja
so
Boy.
many. We can go in any direction we want. So that's how I wanted to start the show. Actually, I wasn't even going to start the show with that, but then we were talking about that in the studio backstage before it came out, and we decided we would talk about that first. The other thing I want to talk about is a Facebook ad that I got targeted for, which I would like to show everybody the product on its webpage. I can't decide whether this is the greatest invention or the stupidest invention. Most likely, as everything, it's somewhere in between. But I like to speak only in hyperbole. So those are your two options: greatest or dumbest. And then we can take a look. So this this is called the Hug Sleep. Is what this is called, and real science, real comfort is the tagline. Now here we go. So it's the blanket that hugs you back, and what it is you can see it's been on BuzzFeed, Shark Tank. It's $90, which is very expensive. It feels
Outrageous.
for what is essentially a cotton sleeping bag, I believe. So you can see the person using it right here. They're putting it on and pulling it up. It is a body sock / yes, there you go.
Yeah.
And you can, yeah, please.
Good. So my friend actually has one of these, and she told me about it, and then I was looking into one of these. And what is it? What is that called with the baby? The babies use
Swaddle.
these things.
Swaddle.
Swaddle.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's basically a sock sleep. Is that what you said? A sock.
A body sock. So
A body sock.
Yeah, so I work with kids who have autism, and this is like one of the things that like sometimes people use. I think this might be one of those times where something that's like actually made for disabled people looks like something dumb for everybody else because we're like, why? Why would you ever want that?
Well, it's funny though, because isn't like a weighted blanket is also that way, and I love a weighted blanket, but this
you might love this. You never know.
No, this is too much. I need to be able to move around under it, like even if it's on me. I'm sure, but this is not marketed to people. This is just marketed to everybody, and I'm like, I'm not sure everybody needs this. Maybe you do.
This reminds me of if you've ever seen like one of those Mike Birbiglia specials where he kind of talks about his nighttime routine. I don't know if you guys have seen that special where he's like, I have like a sleep disorder. I will like walk and I will like walk out my window, but I have to restrain myself at night. And I think he needs more than this. He needs like a full on
He's
straight
like a
jacket.
werewolf.
Yeah.
He's got to be restrained.
Yeah, like he needs to be restrained. And so for me, I'm like, this is kind of like the junior Mike Birbiglia package. If you have like a sleep disorder and you're like, really restless at night, like that makes sense to me for that reason.
That makes sense to me.
So I kind of, part of me loves same, right? I either love it or I hate it. Part of me kind of loves the idea because I am single. So I feel like all the time I'm like, during the pandemic, like when it was everything was shut down and we weren't allowed to like even go near people or hug or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I need a hug. I was like literally Googling how to hug yourself, like, or ways to get that feeling. You know what I mean? So I was like, what do I do? I don't know.
Grace,
So
I love you. I love you, but that might be the saddest Google search ever.
Oh,
I love you so much, and I feel for you, but that raises
agree.
That raises alarms at the
Person
time.
on this stream with significant other. Get out of here.
I agree, but here's the thing that led me to that Google search is because I saw probably on Facebook or something where it's like the average person needs however many hugs a day. And it was like, oh my God, I haven't received any of those hugs in like a year. It was like 20 hugs a day or something. I was like, what? And I was like, oh no. Well, what do I do? Because I'm by myself and I'm not supposed to touch people. So I literally, I'm like, does this help? Do I wrap myself up? What do I? And then they were like showing ways of how you can get that feeling of being hugged. I agree. It is very sad. It's a sad time in the world that
it's not a sad feeling at all. I want to point out it is not a sad feeling. It makes a lot of sense. Literally Googling how do I hug myself is
Dear
what I'm
Google,
saying
please
is sad.
help me feel like a human being again.
And Google's like, I'm a computer. I don't know.
Right?
Like
What is my life?
Reason.
That's my life, yo. That's my life. So I have looked into this
I'm a
thing.
computer.
I need to say that I believe I've done like a sadder Google search like this week, which was how many calories burned doing nothing. So
just sitting there? How many calories burned just sitting?
Apparently, you can burn 1,800 calories per day by doing absolutely nothing at all. So that's a fun little fact.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
That's pretty good. Yeah. I'm really lucky. I have my dog. And like dogs don't love being hugged, but they are they won't bite you immediately. They're pretty tolerant. So I will let my dog just kind of like lie on me, and it's almost like a hug. I also have my parents in my house. And I also have a pond, so swimming can feel not exactly like a hug, but can feel very like immersive and more pressure.
I feel like dogs, cats too, in some ways, more so cats, but dogs to a certain degree too. They can touch you whenever and however they want, right? And it can be like real deep contact, and they still don't care, and they can be laying on you and whatever. But the second you like try to hug them or do something when they don't want you, they're just like, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Like my dog literally will just straight arm me. He's just like, no. And then he'll lay there like that next to me, just looking at me, but being like, no closer than this. So, yeah, but I respect that.
They know boundaries.
Cute.
They know their boundaries. They can't use their voice, so they use their paws.
Well, Kit Tempest, I'm pretty sure your smartwatch only like measures your movement, right? It doesn't measure like your heart, like how your heart burns calories, how your circulatory system burns calories, how your brain burns calories, right? Like,
how smart is that watch? Maybe it does. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Exactly. So real quick, I do want to point out that after like literally 2 seconds of researching, the first ever SasquatchCon Idaho was on August 7th of 2021. So it's very possible that, all these Idaho Sasquatch people got together and did this and thought it'd be a fun thing. So
that's
just an idea.
Take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt, everybody.
Jess is not going to let this Bigfoot thing go all night long, I think.
She's an expert.
All
That's
lifelong.
why.
All lifelong, Grace.
Yeah.
Jane Goodall says she's
I'm
a
like,
romantic.
isn't this
and
fun?
she'd like to believe in Bigfoot.
Maybe
And
there's
she
a
says
Bigfoot, and here's a
Right.
little video. It's kind of fun.
It's super
Jess is
fun.
like, this is not real. I am researching all of the information as we speak, and I'm like, just pretend. Let's just pretend for a little bit that there's
Right.
something.
Like Jane Goodall, I too am a romantic. I want Bigfoot to be real, but I do not want the research pool to be sullied by shitty footage that's fake. Because
This makes the
will
true
make the real
Bigfoot
stuff-
harder. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Rachel.
What I love about Bigfoot is like the difference between like this, this mystical, incredibly fascinating creature, and just like a regular gorilla. It's just like how much they lean over. Like that's all. You're just like, I just want a gorilla that doesn't lean over, and now they are this incredible cryptid, which I think is really lovely. I'm like, maybe I'm going to teach a gorilla to stand up straight just for Jess. Just for Jess, I'm going to make it happen. I'm like, how hard can it be to give? You put some books on top of a gorilla's head and be like, walk across the room. It's just like finishing school.
Coco the
I mean,
gorilla knew
it's-
over 1,000 signs. She should be able to balance books on
Walk
her head.
straight.
Mm.
It's true though that the I guess that's not true. The Bigfoot and the Loch Ness monster are sort of the and the chupacabra are like no, even chupacabra becomes like mystical sort of like but in terms of real animals from the natural world, like the Bigfoot is probably the closest. Like you're like, yeah, that's basically clearly some type of ape, right? Versus like, the Loch Ness monster, like I guess it's a dinosaur maybe, or a eel of some sort. I don't know. I love the Loch Ness monster. We should do that one too sometime.
Yeah.
Loch Ness monster. That's the one I want to believe in most of all.
Oh, really? Okay.
Sort of. I want to believe in it.
Why is that the one that you want to believe in most?
That's a great question, Grace. I think it's
Spanish?
because I like water a lot, and I like the idea that there's this like Scottish loch that like has this creature that is like, Bigfoots have been sighted all around the world in different places, and they're called different things. But like nobody's really ever seen another Loch Ness monster anywhere but Loch Ness. They've seen other stuff, but not that type of. I guess Champy is probably as close as they get. The one in Lake Champlain. Anybody who doesn't know?
Yeah, I forgot about Champy.
So because it's just like a one and only. Like,
yeah,
this
exactly.
is the true Loch Ness.
Exactly. Maybe there's like one family or one like pod of them left, and they live under the fucking loch in like weird old tunnels. And I don't know. I just love the idea of it.
You
the mythology.
100% created a whole world in your head.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
You did. I
love
like crept into that a little bit. When you're like, there's a family and they're living in tunnels. I was like, okay, I see it. I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a very cool short story by Joe Hill, who is Stephen King's son, but he writes under Joe Hill because I think you'd also change your name if Stephen King was your dad. But there's this really cool short story where this like dinosaur washes up on this beach, and these kids find it, and it's like in Lake Champlain sort of, and like people don't believe them because they think it's just kids playing make believe, and then their sister comes to see it, and then she runs home to get the parents, and then while she's gone, like another dinosaur comes and basically like grabs the dinosaur and takes it back. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was almost like it was its mate, and it washed up, and it takes it back. It's very cool. It's a cool story. Worth seeing. I think it's in different seasons, which is like one of his books. Short stories. I like short stories a lot. I don't know about
Me
y'all.
too.
Do you like short stories?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't.
No. You want a longer
No.
book, Grace?
I enjoy the long haul. It's interesting. I have tried to read short story books, and I think the reason is I like the long story. I get more invested in it. The short story books, never, I feel like I don't get as invested. Sometimes they get with me, but sometimes I don't get as invested with them. So then they aren't like as memorable to me or something. I don't know. I remember trying to read a Chuck Palahniuk short story book, and I love Chuck Palahniuk, and I just couldn't get into it. I was like, I had a few short story books that I've tried to read. I just can't.
And none of them do it.
Not really. No.
Yeah. No, I hear that.
I don't know. I feel like I've actually written short stories.
I've been working on a short story collection, and I read a lot short stories online. I do love audiobooks, and I do feel like there are some really good either audiobooks of short story collections, or if you go on to like literary magazines, a lot of times I'll have like some of the short stories read in a podcast form, and that's really fun to listen to. If you're like, oh man, this would make this podcast better if it was a short story. That's
I think there's something I like about short stories. I like novels too, but especially even if it's like a short novel, right? 200 pages or under. I think there's something about the economy of words needed to like get the whole thing across. I agree with you, Grace. I feel like a lot of short stories are pretty shitty and don't make you invest in the character and don't paint the world fully. They sort of tell their little story. But to me, the best short story, like it exists as itself, but it is also so clearly not necessarily a metaphor, but a stand-in for something larger a lot of the time. And I think it's just a very cool way of it's a different kind of engagement to me, right?
Yeah.
But I hear you. I think there's something to be said for those books that are almost like a slog the first like 75 pages, and then it's like you're past the breakers, right? You like know all the names of characters, especially like old like English novels. It's like,
oh my
or
God,
Russian novels where it's just like
the
first 80 pages are just names of people, and then it's like, all right, now that we know who everybody is, here's the story.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Maybe I need some better short story recommendations. But
Kid Tempest has one.
Yeah,
in the chat
Martian
right now.
Chronicles. That's Ray Bradbury.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Okay.
I think George Saunders writes really cool, weird short stories.
I did try to read a George Saunders short story book before. However, do I still have it here? So my brother and my sisters are like obsessed with George Saunders. They like are always trying to get me into him. Which I only tried to read this one book that they gave me, which was the short story book. I'm trying to see if I still have it or if I gave it back. But the funny thing about it is like it was so bizarre. It was like too bizarre, and it was like, what is happening? It was like an
depending
acid
what
trip
book
at some
you
point.
start with George Saunders. Yeah, it can be really hard to think to get into.
And I was like, this is the book I'm starting with. I was like, what? And then the other funny part about it, so like I probably chose the wrong time to do it. So there was a time when I was living in, I had just moved down to Rhode Island, and I quit my job in Boston and just moved down. And I was like kind of living off of my savings and just figuring it out for a little bit. And I was doing this volunteer, I was getting paid to do this study at, was it Brown, I think, where literally it was paid to smoke and to drink and to see the effects of it. So like smoking weed versus drinking alcohol. And like you take tests and like stuff like that. It was like a couple days, and I got paid like a good amount of money. And I was like, oh, this is great. And then that was the book that I was like, what I'll do is when I'm sitting waiting or when I have to, because they would just like, you can sit in this room, here's some snacks, here's Netflix or whatever, and I'm going to have you take a test or whatever. And I was like, okay. So I sat and was reading the freaking George Saunders book that was like out of this world insanity. And I'm smoking and drinking, sitting in this lounge like room, this like fake lounge room that I created for you to chill in. And like in a like hospital situation, reading this weird book. So yeah, that probably
that's
wasn't
a weird
the best.
place.
Yeah, So maybe I'll give it a try again.
Check out Civil War Land in Bad Decline. I think that's
Okay.
a really fun one, and it's more like short novel. Like Civil War Land, Bad Decline is about 200 pages, and so it's like more than a short story. Also, Ian Holmes. They're not short stories, but he writes short novels that are really weird. He wrote "I'm Thinking of Ending Things," and he also wrote the novel Foe, FOE, which they're both really good. I think. And I think under 200 pages as well, both of them, or just about that. So, little stuff that's worth checking out.
I will check it.
Became book corner somehow.
Yeah.
I like it.
We heard you hate short story collections. Here are some short story collections.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to change your
Sweet.
mind.
Awesome. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Ready.
Yeah, and then we'll have you on in a few weeks, and if you don't like those, we'll give you more. And we'll just keep forcing you to read them.
Yeah.
Until you
those
at least
over
tell
to
us.
me, and I'll totally go.
I wrote them. Oh, I wrote them down.
Awesome.
I tried to show it like over here, like as if it was going to show up on the screen.
Perfect. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate
it. And I think I still do have that George Saunders one somewhere. I'm looking. This is my bookshelf over here.
Do you guys have a favorite book? Doesn't have to be a short story, but you have like a book that, like, if somebody says like, "Well, what book should I read?" or if somebody's like, "What's your favorite book?" Do you have one? You don't have to. I'm just wondering.
I think
I have a couple.
book
Go ahead.
ever.
Here, Jess, we'll start with you. Yeah.
I think my favorite book ever is probably Matilda by Roald Dahl. And now, although as an adult I found out that Roald Dahl may have been somewhat problematic in the ways in which I can't remember. I cannot keep everyone's problematicness in order in my brain. I just know that he is for some reason. Don't tell me now. Tell me later, or if you want to put it in the chat, that's fine. But I probably read Matilda like 20 times as a kid, and then when that movie came out, oh man, I don't know why I connected so hard with that book, because I wanted magic powers, because my family was a little weird. I don't know. I just fucking loved that book.
It's a great book. And it's one of I think the best adaptations for a movie of the book.
Yeah.
I think the movie still has a lot of the weirdness that sometimes gets sanitized out of his books. Yeah. His books were freaking weird, huh? Yeah. Did anybody see the new Witches? I didn't see it, but they remade Witches. No. But the original one was terrifying to me as a kid.
Yeah. That one, yeah. And I definitely
when they turned him
watched
into
that
a mouse
movie a lot when I was younger.
Yeah.
Why was it always we had such weird movies growing up. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. Okay, sorry.
No, it's true. We had scary movies, I think, in a way that I don't think kids. Is it Monster Squad? There's a movie from the early 80s that was really scary. Little Monsters, or there was a
Little
bunch
Monsters. Fred Savage. Yeah.
Such bizarre. Yeah. Such bizarre.
I love it. How about you, Grace? Do you have a favorite book?
I probably have a couple. I don't know. I would say like I said, I love Chuck Palahniuk. I think one of my favorite books from him was Survivor or Lullaby. If you ever, I don't know if anybody's ever read Chuck Palahniuk before. So he did Fight Club.
Is Survivor the one with the guy on the plane by himself just talking?
Survivor is the one.
Which one's that?
He survives he comes out of a cult. He comes out of a cult and almost becomes this fake guru person. But it's like a big sham type of thing. It's really good. Lullaby is about this. Lullaby is a really great, almost like a horror one. If you enjoy horror, it's like some person finds this a lullaby from old times, and if they read it, they can kill somebody, and then they discover even just thinking it, they can kill somebody. It's very interesting. It's really good thriller, horror thing. I love Bukowski.
Survivor's the one where he's on an airplane by himself, and he's gonna that's gonna run out of that's a great one.
I like Bukowski. All of his stuff is a lot of fun. Maybe I like authors more than I like specific books. One book that I had a lot of fun reading, though, that I was really surprised. I read Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And I think people have probably seen, there's been different adaptations of movies, which I haven't seen the movie. But that book was so fun to read because everything's happening like in real time as it goes along. So like as you're reading, it's not like we're gonna jump to the next day. It's like everything's happening in real time as you're reading it. So that made a lot.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I enjoyed it. That was my fun read.
I also like Bukowski's novels, and this could be controversial. I think his poetry sucks.
I did read his. Yeah.
Yeah. I just think it's the ramblings of a drunken person. It's the same reason I don't like Jim Morrison's poetry, right? I think it's fake, pseudo-intellectual bullshit from a drunk, and I'm like, that's great if I'm at a bar drinking with you, but I'm not going to buy a book and read it.
So I had this book from Bukowski.
Yeah.
The same thing. Like for some reason, me and my siblings like trade books with each other randomly, and so my brother had this book. It's like Drowning in Fire. Burning in Flames, Drowning in Fire, or something like that. And it's all random poetry from Bukowski all across different decades or whatever. Yeah. And he got it from a friend who got it from a friend who passed it on to this friend, and then it was passed on to me, and I passed it on to somebody else. It's like the Traveling Pants book. And yeah, I remember reading it. I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny. I agree. I do agree with what you say, but it's kind of fun and refreshing. And I think what was interesting is why I enjoyed Bukowski when I read him. I read Factotum first, I think. And I was like, oh, you can write like this? That's okay. Because it's just so raw. Yeah. And in high school, all of my English teachers were very like strict with grammar and writing and like the process and the formation, everything. So like that was in my head. I'm like, I need to make sure everything's like perfect. And like we used to like have to write an essay like every day in class or whatever to make sure all the writing was perfect. So then like I'm reading this and I was like, wait a second. I was like, he's all over the place. I was like, this is great. I was like, this is so much fun.
And they're like, you got to learn the rules before you can break them. Like,
yeah, right. Yeah. I do appreciate my English teachers a lot for that, but that was refreshing. Yeah,
I love that. And then I do have one Chuck Palahniuk. I don't know what book it's from, and this is going to get graphic. Everybody, just know this. But all I remember from one Chuck Palahniuk book that I read was there was a character who died because they were a teenager and they were masturbating and they thought it would feel good to have the pool filter suck on their anus, and then they got stuck on the bottom and it sucked their butt out of their butt, and then they got stuck and drowned. That's the only thing I remember from that book. And it's scarred in my head.
That's actually a short story book. It's haunted.
There you go.
Haunted.
There you go. I am haunted
I did like
by
that short story book because it's lots of terrifying stuff that
book
were
is
happening.
Fucked. Yeah.
Welcome to the stream, MLab.
MLab, welcome.
Yeah.
MLab just leaves.
Yeah, that was a good one.
All right, bye.
Hold on to your butt.
Hold on to your butt.
Your butts.
How about you, Rachel? Do you have a favorite book?
I've been really into audiobooks. I think I mention that every time I'm on stream because that's what I do with my time. I think before I got to audiobooks, my favorite book was probably this book called Maybe the Moon by Armistead Maupin. Armistead Maupin is like Tales of the City, very famous. I think mostly in the 80s, like gay author. Maybe the Moon is a really interesting book about sort of based on or inspired by the dwarf who piloted E.T. So basically, like there's like somebody in E.T. and she was like a dwarf and an actress, and she was friends with Armistead Maupin, and he kind of built this character inspired by her and kind of her adventures and like her trying to make it in Hollywood and like what that even means for an actor with a disability, and like her love affairs and all that kind of stuff. And it's really interesting. It's really cool. And my favorite part is like she's trying to like make her own life into a movie. And Steven Spielberg is like comes in with notes at the, or like his stand-in comes in with notes at the end of the book, is like, okay, we need to change this stuff. And he's like basically like totally taking out every like marginalized identity, and he's like, what if this person were like a hot guy, or like what if this was like a white woman? He's just like totally whitewashing the whole story at the end of the book, and you're just like, it's so funny, and you're like, this is it's probably felt very like caustic. It like still feels caustic, but like especially in the 80s, to like have this thing that's basically like a broadside against Steven Spielberg and like about Hollywood in general. I just think it's super fun. And then like she's often like very funny and like insightful like throughout the book. So that was probably my favorite book pre-audiobooks. Post-audiobook, I'm like trying to think. I'm really into the Goblin Emperor, if you've read that. If you guys heard of the Goblin Emperor, it's very like it's like fantasy, but without all the magic. It's like mostly court intrigue, with like a little bit fantasy sprinkled in. But it's very good. It like digs deep down into the social milieu and all the sort of court intrigue and the politicking, and all of the characters are really interesting and nuanced, and it really does like the whole world building thing really interestingly. And so I fell in love with that this pandemic as well. And so those are the two books I would recommend if people are interested.
Nice. I will take this second, of course, to recommend the book I always recommend when people ask what they should read. It's the book Beautiful Ruins. It's by Jess Walters, and it's just a good old fashioned American epic that takes place in Italy. But it'll make you laugh, it'll make you cry, it'll make you believe in people again. It's just my favorite book in the world. It's really good. I don't want to ruin it. You should read it. It's about basically a fake town. Like if you know Cinque Terre, which is these towns in Italy on the water. It's about a fake town in Cinque Terre where Hollywood stars go in the 1950s when they're like filming in Rome, and then they go on vacation here, and then life happens from there. So worth reading. I love it so much. All of his stuff is really good, but that's my favorite of his. So that's my book recommendation. Weird random book. I'm not even sure this is a recommendation. I guess it is. But has anybody else ever read like the Wool Trilogy? The Wool Trilogy. What's the guy's name? Hugh Howey. And I believe it was self-published first. It's like, God, the trilogy altogether has got to be over 1,000 pages. And it's basically called the Silo series. It's a 3-book series about a post-apocalyptic society that lives inside of a silo underground. And I stumbled upon it when Rachel was saying it's on like Goodreads, and I stumbled upon it a couple of years ago on Audible or on one of those, and it just like if it was an ebook, and that's why I got it. I probably wouldn't have gotten it otherwise because I'd never heard of it, and it was really, really good. I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and wondering if it holds up in today. Like, you know, it's like one of those books I read like 5 or 6 years ago. I'm like, oh, I should go back and revisit that. But it's a cool book. It's a cool idea too.
It's called the Wool series, like WOOL.
Yeah, the first book I think is called Wool, and then Shift, and then Dust. Those are the 3 books.
Silo.
It sounds cool.
Yeah.
It sounds like where we're headed to, correct? So we should read it to prepare. Oh, no.
Right.
Speaking of Silo for sale, this yes. So This place is this from today. There is a missile silo for sale in oh man, I want to say Arizona or Colorado, somewhere like that, and it's like a few $100,000, and but it's going to take like a ton of work to turn it into anything usable, right? But it is pretty cool. It's pretty cool looking. I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying to find it right now because we should all just take a look at how cool it is. Would you live underground? I mean, you can still leave, but would you? Is that something you would do?
No. I've lived in way too many basement apartments, and it's awful. Nope. I need that sunlight. No. I need that vitamin D.
I guess it depends on how many tornadoes we're expecting the next 10 to 15 years. I'm like, we might not have a choice.
Few, I think. Yeah.
I'm like, if I have to, I guess so. But no. There's something about like being like under, I don't know, trapped under stuff, underwater, underground. I don't like it.
All right. So can everybody see that?
Yeah.
So that's the top. There's your door. You go downstairs, and there's like your entryway.
I like it. I think this is a cool place.
Yeah, right. Look, I mean, you have to finish it yourself, but it's got cabinets built in. Look at all that space. You could build whatever you wanted.
So much room for activities.
So much room for activities, and look at these blast doors. I mean, when the zombie apocalypse comes, look, this is like could be like a hydroponic garden in there. Like a hanging garden would be so cool.
It freaks me out.
I had to say that, like, I don't know if we've played this video on the show before, but have you guys seen the video of like there's like a Russian cafe that has no windows, but they duplicate the feeling of being in a moving train, and the way they do that is they put like giant like LED like laser TVs on the walls, and they just play footage of like of landscape just flying by, and it really feels like you're in like a train compartment.
That's cool.
Where is this?
I don't like that, but I do, but I don't.
Where is this?
So,
I'm looking for the video, but I can't find it.
But basically, like if you put up giant televisions, it's like again a Black Mirror. But if you put up giant televisions of like the sky, your body will forget that you're.
That's how I feel. Like I think if we put up some stuff to pretend I have windows there and like pretend I'm not underground, I'll feel better. But otherwise, I'll probably freak out a little bit. Like I think I'm claustrophobic. Maybe. I don't like it. Like already my skin is crawling a little bit just thinking about it. If it's like a survival thing, I'll get through it.
But I think what if you like we could have all the windows so it looks like there are windows, and you can.
If I don't have to live there, no, then I'm not going to. If I have to live there because the world is underground, then I'll live there and I'll put up fake. Yeah. I'll put up TVs to pretend that there's a bunny rabbit sitting on my window or like whatever, palm trees, a beach out there. Well, yes, but
look at this one. There you go. Look at this fake window here.
See, that's nice. I don't know. It still kind of creeps me out because I'm looking around it and I'm like, this is a basement, isn't it?
This isn't real. There's no window there. I like it. It's just pictures. You don't know.
I know,
right?
Yeah, but you do know though.
And look at that! You got a forest out there. Oh man, that's creepy.
But it does. I will say those kind of things do help. So like a few years ago, when I had a cubicle and I couldn't see any outside really beyond my cubicle. I literally had this little picture of like a tropical little area, like a little tropical window on my cubicle. And I was like, oh, this is nice. It's like your brain kind of forgets for a second. And just like have that little happiness right there.
Yeah, see, King Senior says you can just put in a natural light lamp and then you never have to leave. You trick your brain into thinking you went outside.
What
A
an
fan?
oxymoron. Natural light lamp.
Aren't we really all just like in our own little Truman Show kind of scenario? Truman was like literally. How old was he when he figured it out? He had a nice childhood and everything.
Don't freak me out, man. Don't freak me out. Now I'm gonna be like,
Can we talk about the unsung movie that is Ed TV? That is also a pretty good movie, and nobody like it was the Dante's Peak to the Truman Show's Volcano.
Oh my god!
And
Strike that,
people
reverse
forgot
it.
about that.
Who was
Wait, do you
Ed
like-
TV? I don't think I
Dante's Peak's way
remember.
better.
I remember it, but I don't remember if I actually watched it. Who was
Was it
in
Matthew
it?
McConaughey?
Matthew McConaughey was in it. Yep, and it was one of his first roles. And it was basically like they chose a fuck up, right? Like they chose somebody to follow who like didn't do anything. So it's like a reality show, but he knew it was a reality show, so it
Oh my
wasn't
god,
like
yeah, it's
a
slowly coming
secret.
back to me. I feel like I did see this movie. Yeah.
And
The part-
I feel like, yeah, go ahead.
The part I'll never forget is him setting up a mirror in the bathroom so he can watch TV while he poops. And he
I
like
mean, that's
shares
good
it
stuff.
on the TV show, and all the people who watch his show, who watch EdTV, are like,
So
It's like a
he's
revelation.
aware, but he's aware that he's being filmed, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Ellen DeGeneres is the producer, and Woody Harrelson's his brother. I mean, come on. His girlfriend's Jenna Elfman. This is a perfect
Classic.
movie.
Yeah. Classic.
Yeah.
When did this come out? Like 90,
Oh man, the
98?
90s, 99.
97? 99?
99. It's one of the last. Oh, what an innocent time.
Yeah, right. What an innocent time indeed. Oh, Jenna Elfman.
Yeah.
Right? Dharma.
Oh,
Dharma
was
and
it?
Greg.
Marion was telling us that was based off of a Quebecois movie, which I did not know. Though I'm not surprised. Hollywood steals all the time. So there you go.
Oh.
What's called ATV.
Ed?
Oh my god.
Yes.
So good.
Eh?
Okay.
Oh, I love it so much. I think we've talked about it on the show before. Speaking of Quebecois, there you go. Louis XIX, King of the Airwaves. I would like to see that movie. I will. I'm going to find out where I can see that. I think I've talked about it on the show before, but they made a Brooklyn Nine-Nine version of, and apparently they do this a lot in Quebec. They made a Quebecois version of Brooklyn Nine-Nine where they, instead of dubbing the show, just recast all of the actors who vaguely look like their counterparts, but they speak French. And the reason it came up is because the guy who plays Jerry looks exactly the same in the French version. Like, people were like, "Is that the same actor? Is he Quebecois and like can speak it?" Because like all the other ones are sort of like a stunt double version of them, and then Jerry looks exactly the same. Let's see if we can find.
I had no idea this was a thing at all.
Yeah.
Quebecois?
Yeah, here we go. Escalade 9. So hold on, let's share this again. I love it. All right, so it's there you go.
Oh my god. That's hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah.
Escalade.
French language adaptation of the popular TV show is already taking heat from one of the actors in the original series. Because it's the Melissa Furmano's character from Arrow was whitewashed in the Quebecois version.
It looks like they're both. Were they both whitewashed?
Both being
The main woman, and then there's like that there's like the secondary Latinx actress.
Oh yeah, I think I mean,
Yeah.
it certainly looks like it. Yeah, so I don't like that at all. And I wondered if we can find the Jerry picture. Oh, there's Jerry. Nope, that's the original one. There he
That's
is.
the original.
And then the other one is right there.
God.
Oh,
See, it
yeah. Oh, my
looks exactly the
goodness.
same.
Wow.
Which I think is hilarious.
Wow.
I would like to think that it's the same guy. And he was like, sure, I'll come up and do it
Yeah.
again.
Maybe he's dual citizen.
Yeah,
Right?
who's Canadian Terry Crews?
Yeah, they just went. I think they whitewashed him too, or just got rid of him altogether. Yeah, that's a good question.
I think there's another picture of him
Is this?
where he's included.
Well, that's got to be him right there with the megaphone. Terry Crews.
Isn't this really them at the bottom?
Yeah, I think
no,
that's
it's-
really them at the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
The top is the.
Yeah, so I think they must have gotten rid of that character, or no, maybe this is he in blue. Do you see how the background character? He's the
Yeah.
character in blue all the way on the right. Like I don't know if you can see him, but he's right behind, over the shoulder of one of the female character. That's hilarious. He's in there.
I do love that somebody in Canada was like, you know what's the problem with Brooklyn Nine-Nine? White enough. We need to make we need to make this way whiter.
Yeah.
That is wild.
It's wild that they remake those shows, but it makes perfect sense. I guess.
We do it.
I mean, we do. I was going to say we do the same thing with shows from England, which it's
Yeah.
already in our language. We don't even need to remake them. Like,
Right.
we're like, no,
Anyway.
we do it anyway.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I
Everyone
agree, Dan Chappie.
copies
It should be
everybody
easy
else.
to see the Canadian Terry Crews, and yet I don't think he's there. I think they were like, we can't. There is no Canadian Terry Crews. Like, there's no. A Canadian Terry Crews would be offensive because Terry Crews is almost a caricature of himself, but he's so authentically himself. But I think if somebody else tried to do that, it would not play very well. There's an article about whitewashing the show if you want to read it.
Oh.
Yeah, we're learning. We're learning about now. Marion said, knowing Quebec, yes. 99% yes. I'm not sure what that was in response to, but maybe stealing something or whitewashing it. I'm thinking it must be something like that. Something like that. Man, yeah, please.
What is Quebecois? Is it a TV station or is it a?
No, so the
Is it
Canadians in
a-
the chat can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's just it's
Is it
a
a phrase?
province.
Mary goes, yeah. Quebec is one of the states, right? A province.
Yeah, no, I know
right?
Quebec,
Yeah.
but
so
Quebecois
Quebecois are
is
people
the
who are
French.
from Quebec, and they're the French people.
Well,
so they're the
specifically, I believe
people.
it's the language, right? I thought. Oh, okay. No, Marion says it's the people.
No, it's the people that
Okay.
there was the French, basically like, and again, Marion can correct me, but some of Canada was founded by English and some was founded by French, or not founded, taken over by, colonized by, because it was already the first world people were already living there.
okay. So
But yeah,
Quebecois
it's the people
is
who are
the
there.
people. I know
From Quebec.
Quebec is the province. Yes.
And they're the ones that
Uh,
speak French and are very snooty
yeah.
about it.
Yes.
But-
I definitely went there for an 8th grade field trip. And we were excited to speak French, but they knew we were all Americans, so they did not
Yeah.
speak French with us.
Yeah.
I'm sure we were terrible at it. We were 8th graders.
To be fair, all the places that, like, France is also, people are terrible to you when you try to speak French in France. Like, they're just like fucking Americans. You're like, I'm trying to speak your language, you asshole.
Yeah.
Oh man, don't get me started.
I
It really.
meet you halfway, you fucking cheese monger. Immediately
Yeah.
like lose it. Classic American temper.
Yep.
My friend Alexis told me a story. She's lived in Paris now for like 7 or 8 years. She's married to a French man. She speaks French fluently. And she did the Paris triathlon. And her bike broke, so she took it into the tent and the old bike mechanic, who was like this old French guy, refused to speak to her in French because he's like, she's an American. And somebody else was there, was like, she speaks perfect fucking French. She's French. And he was like, no, she's an American. I'm going to speak English. Like, to that person. And Alexis could understand her because she's fucking fluent in French. And she's just like, what the fuck, dude? And he just wouldn't speak to her in French. That's such a dick move.
Wow.
Yeah. Fuck that guy. That's what I'm using this platform to say.
Fucking speaking, please fix my bicycle.
It doesn't. Christ. I don't care.
I'm losing time.
Per favor, mecánica mi bicicleta.
Bastardized romance language of some kind.
Wow. If you had to create your own triathlon, what would it be? That's a good, fun question. It would have to be. Does it have to be real sports? So that's the first question. Can it just be like making a sandwich, drinking a milkshake and watching a movie, or I don't know, or is it like? Is it?
I had a friend once that was like saying they had a hippie one, which was like those devil sticks and like skateboarding and I forget, like hacky sack or something like that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you had devil sticks in the 90s.
Oh.
And a skateboard.
I didn't have devil sticks, but I was embarrassingly good at hacky sack. Like I could stall it and then do around the world with it, like bring my foot around and fucking catch it. Like, oh man.
Yeah.
I was such a little.
My poison of choice is foosball. I'm really, really, really good at foosball. I'm very competitive at foosball. If I ever see a foosball table and there's somebody else there, I'm like, do you want to go?
Now you're like no spinnies? Like is that like how competitive you are?
I'm not a spinner.
Yeah, that's how you can tell.
Not because I have like a principle against it. I just I need to know where the feet are because I feel like the feet need to be ready. And when you spin, the feet can end up anywhere. I don't like to be out of control.
Fuck yeah, Marion. Thank you for helping me believe in my past. I loved it, actually, and I still would hacky sack. I was ashamed, but I shouldn't be. You're right.
No.
You're right.
I like the
hacky sack.
Yeah, when you serve the hacky sack and you put it between your feet and you turn around and you jump and you let it go and it flies up behind you into the serve.
Oh, yeah.
Good one.
I could catch it in the back of my knee, like the crook in the back of my knee, and then kick it back out.
Yeah. Shoot.
All right, who's got a hacky sack? We're all going to Ben's house.
I've got a good back area for it.
Who's got the devil sticks?
Devil sticks. Oh man, I could never do the devil sticks. I could never do it right.
Like we had them. I don't remember.
I had them. They were purple and black, and I couldn't get the thing to. It was like I couldn't get the baton to go around. Not easy.
No, it's not easy. I feel like it's one of those things that I feel like for a while, and I guess it's still probably true, but there's so many things that kids become fads in, which it's 2% of the people who use this thing are really good at it. And 98% of the people, it's just a waste of space. And yet millions of them sell. And I feel like that's one of them. Harmonicas is another one. Everybody had a fucking harmonica as a kid and nobody knew how to play it. It was just
my God. My mom was obsessed. She had a harmonica case and a harmonica. And she could kind of play my mom was a musician. She's a musician.
Okay.
And we would go to the store to get our own harmonicas. And it was me and my two younger sisters and my mom with our harmonicas. But yeah, no, I do remember. Harmonicas are great, but if you can find a good harmonica player, they're fantastic.
Yes, 100%. 100%. So are devil sticks. If you can see somebody who really knows what they're doing with devil sticks, it's fucking cool as shit.
Yeah. Speaking of, I saw Alanis this weekend. Speaking of harmonicas, very fun. Harmonica says
harmonica.
Funny.
Yeah. Harmonicas.
That reminds me of saxophone.
Speaking of fads, this thing just popped into my head as we're talking about devil sticks and hacky sacks and 90s stuff or whatever. Moon shoes. Do you remember those?
Yes, my best friend. Yes.
My best
think
friend in
that's part
high
of-
school had moon shoes.
Oh, moon shoes. I
think
had
that's
moon
part of my
shoes.
triathlon. I'm pretty sure it's
Moon
gonna be
shoes?
something with moon hopscotch and moon shoes or some shit.
Oh, hopscotch is a good one. Oh my goodness.
I had moon shoes, and I used to have, and I think they're coming back, but I had these gloves called Freaky. What were they? Freezy Freakies. And they were gloves that when they got cold, images would appear on them. Like it was basically like, remember the
yeah.
shirts that changed when you would touch them?
I think
It was sort of
remember-
like that.
yeah. They're like winter gloves.
Yeah, called
Right?
Freezy Freakies. Yeah.
I used to have a T-shirt that was like heat. It would change color in the heat, right? But then the problem was that your armpits were always like, right? They were like always the other color that was like dark. Also, apparently, it turns out like the chemicals they used to like make that might have been toxic. So like, wah wah.
They
Yeah.
like,
might have
not-
been toxic.
Comfortable to wear because you're like, oh, this is cool. I'm gonna wear it out. But then you're just like, it's really hot under my armpit.
I like the idea. I like the idea that you can only say that they might be toxic because they had to cancel the research. They had to cancel the lab test because it was like unethical to finish it. They're just like, it's so toxic that we gotta shut it down right now. But that means it's not officially toxic because we didn't finish our research. We don't have a paper.
These things are rad.
Yes!
Look at that.
Oh my god! Oh my
yeah.
god, Ben! You've brought so much back. I had that exact fucking pair.
I had
Wow.
this one. This is the one I
Oh my
had.
goodness.
The Ski Alpine.
Wow.
That's so funny.
You guys had a cooler childhood.
And the skier would come on. Yeah, it was so dope. I loved it so much.
Wait, can you go back to the other one? I want to see the
Yeah,
one
yeah,
from
of course,
my
yeah.
childhood again.
At
Uh,
$3 a
Yeah,
pack
the
of
princess
cereal.
one with the castle. Wow, that's so wild. That's wild. It's
Wait,
all
so what
coming
happens with this one?
back,
Just
it's all
it turns
coming.
it
pink?
just looks like the pink comes in.
And then you
yeah,
get gems.
And then,
Yeah,
And you get your
gems in
jewelry?
here. The rings. Yeah,
oh
the
my
rings.
goodness.
I remember loving that. I remember thinking that was the coolest fucking thing. The rings on your fingers. Wow.
I like
That's
it says here,
stored back in here somewhere, and it's just
This
like
is
rushing.
water resistant fabric, power blue, not a typo.
Power blue. Yes.
Oh my god.
You might think we're saying powder blue. We are not. We are saying
Wow.
power blue.
And so these are available for sale?
They are. They're right now. It looks like they're sold out, but they are available for sale. You can go to their website and get on their list.
Jess.
Fuck out.
So there you go.
Oh man,
It's
blast
always hot
past.
under David Thomas's armpits. So his shirt, if he wore one of those color changing shirts, it's just like a giant.
Just, yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
it was.
Yellow.
That is what it was, though.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? It was like a tie-dye shirt or something? Or was it just one of those shirts? One color and then it changed to the other color when it got warm. And you
yeah,
could
I
like
want
write
to say
put
like when you
handprints or
put
whatever.
it on, it was white, but as it like heated up, then it would change to like green or orange or something. I don't remember.
Really
But it was like
quickly,
cool because you'd like, you do the funny thing where you put your hands on your boobs, right? And then like
Yeah.
you're nodding to the boobs because you're 10. And then like here's like handprints on your shirt, like that's so funny. But then like I said, the problem was
Dan, there you go.
showed
The heart shows up and snow shows up.
I love
So
snow.
I love
That's
before
cute.
it just says I snow.
I snow.
I snow. Oh
I
god.
snow. And that's like, oh, I heart snow. Okay.
crazy to me.
That's a good
Those are
one.
cute.
The BMX one, this one's pretty rad.
That's cool.
They appear. Though it's a little less rad when you can see their complete outline.
yeah.
Yeah.
But still pretty cool. Still cool.
Still super cool. Yeah.
Oh, the cheerleader one. I like this one.
What's this one? The pom poms show up, or they show up?
They must. It's the pom poms. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm
That's
still
simple.
losing my shit over here.
Simple.
I was thinking they should have like dirty versions of these, like the
Oh,
novel
like the
ones.
pencil.
Like the
so
pen?
those pens. Yeah. There
Yep.
you go. That guy's dirty.
That guy looks a little like Todd Page.
I think he's confused because he's wearing swim trunks with his winter
Yeah,
gloves.
right?
They're not gonna work there, bud. They're not gonna work there.
Did look like our friend Todd Page. I love that. I know what you did last summer. I know a
I love
secret.
you.
Yeah,
I
I know. Oh man, those are such childhood things. Yeah, I had moon boots and I had those gloves. And did you guys I used to collect stickers. Was that a thing when you guys were?
Yeah.
I had like straight up a sticker book, and the stickers that were like super fancy were the stickers that basically had like oil inside of them, so they were sort of color changing stickers. So it'd be like a butterfly, but it was like a little puffy.
Yeah.
And
puppy
if you
stickers,
pushed on the sticker, then it would turn colors again. That was like a big thing at the time.
Unstuck, right? You stuck them into your notebook, right? Like you onto a piece of paper or whatever.
So I'm a real loser. So no, those ones I kept on the back because the second you unstick it, it loses any kind of value. And I would just put it in a sticker book, sort of like collecting stamps. So it was behind the like plastic sheet. Oh yeah. I had a binder of stickers. Yeah, that I'm real cool. I loved them so much. I still love them.
I still have some of my childhood
binder.
stickers. I love
Yeah.
that.
I like
so
the scratch and sniff ones.
Yeah.
Those were the ones I think
Weird.
I always collected. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a whole set of stickers that you colored in yourself. Oh my god, I loved that.
Have I seen those? They still make those, I think. Color in yourself.
Yeah, they definitely do. But it's different now than it was then.
I got my friend Ashley a very cool. I'll say it's very cool, even though I got it for a gift, which was a sticker maker. It like takes any drawing you take, and you put it through a machine, and all of a sudden it's got a sticky backing. So you cut out and then you can cut it out, and then it's a sticker of whatever you drew.
That's awesome.
That sounds so cool. Where did you get that?
Yeah.
Amazon? I'm gonna get one of those.
Yeah, I got it on Amazon.
Okay. That sounds really cool. Remember button makers? I used to have a button
I was
maker.
just gonna say that.
I don't even remember how it worked, but I just remember this part. Apparently,
Yeah,
is how you make the
you
button.
punched it down. Yeah. Because you had to like get the plastic to fold around the back of it just so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I didn't have a button maker. I don't know if did anybody ever have like you had like like when you take pencil and you rub it and you get like the etch of something that you're like rubbing against. I had this like little kit that was just like different parts of a woman's body, so you could like match her different outfits together.
Yeah,
I had that too.
I had that. Yes.
Oh my god!
I thought I was gonna be a fashion designer. I had that thing. Do the
Was that
literally? I was like, I would dress up, and then I would like take this thing and like slap the different pieces together and be like, I'm definitely a fashion designer. I will be a fashion designer. Look at me, like.
you color in? Oh my god! Was that Barbie?
Yeah.
Was that?
I don't know if it was Barbie. I didn't have the Barbie
Oh.
one. In my mind she was like generic, but I'm just like I remember being very confident. I'm like, oh, I know what works with this top.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
I did not have that.
Selling fashion to us at a very young age.
Yeah, right.
Did you guys have these color changing stickers or pencils?
Yes.
I love these too. Those were like a big thing when I was a kid. Oh, like the heat of your hand changes color on them when you're writing.
I want the one that's $195. Oh, that's for
It's so funny how many things changed color when we were a kid. Like how many?
Right.
Do they still? Is that
That's a
like
big deal.
Yeah. Who knew?
I wonder. I wish we had like one person on panel who had like a kid because they could tell us whether this stuff was like still popular or like what the popular versions of these things would be. Because I'm like, I'm sure these basic general principles have carried through.
Stuff
you
is
would think
all
so.
coming back. Stuff is all coming back. Okay, so like I was working at the Claire's, and it felt like I stepped right back into the 90s. Okay, they had the scrunchies, they had the kit and caboodle, like they have the rainbow and unicorns. But a lot of
they don't make slap bracelets anymore because they used to slice yourself open with slap bracelets.
They still make the slap bracelets.
It feels like, but remember when we had them, they used to have it was metal inside,
Yeah, they had a metal.
not plastic.
There is something different now, but yeah,
I'm
they
sure
sell
there
slap
is.
bracelets. They sell slap
Oh, man.
bracelets.
I love slap bracelets.
There's a ton of like 90s nostalgia stuff coming back now, and I think it's because like people that grew up in the 90s are now able to develop this stuff for the kids, and
probably buy it for their kids because of nostalgia.
Yeah, and one thing that I think is so funny is I used to see all around the mall the kids wearing like Nickelodeon stuff,
Yes.
like Nickelodeon shirts, like Rugrat t-shirts or whatever, or like different stuff like that. And I'm like, you guys don't know what
is like
this
a huge thing
is.
right
Like,
now.
Right? Because I'm like, that stopped existing a while ago.
Yeah.
But now, like, 12-year-old, 13-year-olds are wearing like Reptar t-shirts, and they think it's so cool. And I'm like, you don't even know.
You don't know.
Yeah,
you
right.
Don't know.
You
remember
there.
Reptar on Ice?
Yeah.
And Reptar cereal. He's
Reptar
something. He's mean.
on
He turned
Ice?
milk green. Yeah, Reptar on Ice was like one of the episodes because Reptar was like the dinosaur character.
Yeah.
Right? It was like a whole thing.
Okay, I
about
got
how
it.
they had to like talk to Reptar about something or warn him about something. I don't remember.
Now, how into the real world did Reptar like engage? Like, was there actually Reptar cereal? Like, did you have it, or was it just like part of the show?
I think there was a promotional Reptar cereal. I believe there was. Let me jujule it.
I don't think so.
Oh, there sure was. Oh no, there's candy. We can get Reptar candy.
Is this that
Reptar cereal's candy tin.
What's that phenomenon called lately where it's like people remember things from the past and then now people are saying they don't exist. They don't.
The Mandela
effect. Mandela
That's
effect.
like that Mandela effect. Yeah. That stuff freaks me out.
Reptar cereal was made in 2017 as like a promo thing.
Yeah, I see on eBay you can buy. Let's see how much they want for it. They want $39.99 for Rugrats Reptar cereal, box only, 2016 fiscal year exclusive Nickelodeon.
Box
Nicktoons.
only.
Yeah, the box only.
That's so sad. That's such a sad phrase.
Box only.
It's like the. Oh man, that's like the PS5s. People were selling the PS5 boxes. Yeah, right.
When are we gonna get the Will Mandela effect? It's gonna take us some time. A little time.
So which
I
one
could
do
have
you
sworn
remember?
Nelson
do you remember
Mandela was a woman.
Berenstein or Berenstein?
woman.
Berenstein. Which one do you remember?
Bernstein Bears?
Berenstein is what I remember.
Yeah.
I remember Bernstein, but it is Berenstein. Which
because they're bears.
But it's Stain, isn't it? It's Stain now. Now I say as if
now.
I
and
remember.
Then the famous one is
right?
Shazam, which doesn't exist,
yes,
right?
It is Berenstain
the Sinbad
Bears.
movie.
Wait, what?
It's
You're saying it doesn't
Berenstain. It's Stain. Yes, it is.
No. I'm saying to Grace, no, Shazam does not exist with Sinbad. That is not a real movie.
Right.
But it is.
I also remember that one.
No, it's not a real movie.
I mean, there's a Shazam movie like that came out like in the last couple of years.
Now there's Kazam, starring who?
Shaq, right?
Shaq. Yeah. But I also remember Shazam and Sinbad and.
And also it was definitely Berenstein, like EIN.
Yes, thank you.
100%.
But apparently not.
100%. Like I feel like I can dig up old books. There's no way it was ANE.
Grace, if you can dig up those old books, you're in danger. You need to run.
I
You got
know,
people
right?
after you.
Have you seen The Net with Sandra Bullock?
Yeah.
The Net.
Or what's the terrible movie? Oh man, I'm gonna forget the name. It was really offensive. It was in like the late 90s, early 2000s, and Alec Baldwin was in it, and there was a kid, and Bruce Willis was in it, and there was a kid who is on the spectrum, and he does a puzzle, like in a puzzle book, but it turns out that puzzle was like a CIA code that he cracked. And so now like they're trying to kill this kid. What's it called? It's so bad.
I know what you're talking about.
It is Mercury Rising. It's called an action thriller with Bruce Willis and Alec Baldwin. Yeah. During a bank robbery.
Gonna be watching that later for sure.
Man.
I can't imagine. Oh, sorry. What is it?
No, it's real bad.
It's just real bad.
Mercury Rising.
Trying to kill a little kid. Okay.
I would like to point out that MLab has posted some lyrics from Reptar on Ice on the episode in the chat. There's some kids on the ice. What's a dinosaur to do when there's kids on the ice? I remember that.
Now that is an amazing memory. Has MLab watched those episodes recently, or did she just remember them from when she was 12?
Steel Trap, MLab.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, right. Oh.
Was there really not a Shazam with Sinbad? Now my brain is breaking. Now my brain is breaking.
Yeah.
There was not. It's real weird.
I mean, I think our brains like see what it want. We see what we want to see. We see the things that make sense. And in our heads, we're like, Shaq is not a movie star. Shaq isn't in movies. Shaq can't act. It must have been Sinbad because he's an actor. It must have been an actor.
Yeah.
And
that's the only thing
in our heads.
That's the thing.
Clearly, you've never seen the movie Steel. That's Shaquille O'Neal and Judd Nelson.
Oh, geez. Winning combo.
Oh man.
Oh, my goodness.
It's not good. It's not good.
Have you seen it, Ben?
I saw it in like the late 90s when it came out, and I've not seen it since then. Because it was based on I think on a DC superhero. And I remember when it was coming out, and I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be really fun. And it was not fun.
So you're saying the DC universe was taking L's even in the mid-90s.
Yeah, I'm saying we probably watch it again because I bet it would be really fun.
I'm definitely gonna watch it. Steel, and then what was the other one with Bruce Willis attacking a young
Mercury
boy?
Rising.
Mercury Rising.
Alec Baldwin.
Okay. And Alec Baldwin. Oh my goodness.
I want to convince people on the internet that Steel was directed by Snyder, and that there's a Snyder cut of Steel out there,
You 100% can do that, and you will do that. Yes, I believe in you. Please do
love
that.
The idea of like the whoever is like monitoring the Google algorithms is like, why is there been like a 0.4% increase in search results for Mercury Rising? Like, who the fuck is looking up this movie?
Yeah. Alec Baldwin's getting another 75 cents this month.
Oh my god!
I feel like Mercury Rising is just a very roundabout way of saying it's getting hotter. What it means in the movie, they're just like, this is so hot. It's like the thermometers. They just keep going like this. Mercury's rising.
Mercury rising. Barometer's getting low. Is that?
I remember this
that
movie. I remember seeing this fucking movie.
It's not a good movie.
That's It's Raining Men, right?
Yeah. But it's not Mercury Rising. It's like.
No, it's not. What's that movie?
I just added it. It sounded appropriate.
Maybe it's this movie. No, I don't know.
What?
I could have sworn there was a movie where right?
Are these things that we're creating in our head is just like making a magical land that was way better or something?
Maybe. So there was a movie where a man, it was like mid to late 90s, okay? There is a man who like robs a bank and then like steals a car to like get away from the cops. Turns out there's a kid in the backseat of the car that he is like now like accidentally kidnapped, but he like wants to turn the kid over, but he doesn't want to get caught for the bank robbery.
Yeah, no, that's fucking Kevin Costner is the lead
and
Yes.
I remember he's like wearing a onesie, like the kid is wearing a onesie, and at the end
that's
of the
movie, great movie.
They do end up shooting him or something, and I remember like the money flying.
That's a great movie. Clint Eastwood directed it. Rene Russo's in it. What is it?
A Perfect World?
Oh man.
What is
Perfect World. Yes.
Let me see.
That is what it is.
Perfect
And that
world.
is, I would argue, oh man, we're
Yes.
getting into movies now, which I love. But I would argue that's probably Kevin Costner's best acting role. Like Clint Eastwood, say what you will about his politics. He directs actors very well. He gets good performances from people. And he gets Kevin Costner to do a really good performance in this movie. It's a really good movie. It's a hidden gem.
Fun fact: Perfect World comes up if you Google Kevin Costner kidnap movie. That's the first result.
Well, now we know.
Now we know.
Well, now I want to watch the trailer again. Like, oh man, I remember watching. Oh my god, when I was a kid, my mom, we would always do this thing where like we would go rent a movie and then she would fall asleep halfway through. So like no parental guidance was given, and so there were many times where I'd just be like at the end of a movie like that, because the end of that movie is like fucked up if I remember correctly. And like my mom was just like asleep on the couch, snoring her head off, and I'm like, Kevin Costner. Fucking like, how old would I have been? 11? When did this movie come out? 1993. Oh my
93.
god, I was 7 or 8
Wow.
years. Oh, so it would have come out. It would have been on VHS. So I was probably 8 and a half watching this movie. Jesus Christ, Mom.
A different time. Right.
Wow. Was that the last time that you watched it? Did you rewatch it afterwards?
No.
That really left an imprint on you at 8 years old.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Definitely did.
We'll have to watch that one for sure.
I love this idea that letting your kids watch movies as long as one of the protagonists is a child. You're like, oh yeah, it's a kid's movie. Like one of them's a kid.
Yeah, you can see Witness. Witness is fine.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Rosemary's Baby. It's got a baby in it.
That's no problem. It's no problem. There were so many. The late 90s, early 2000s were really a special time for action movies because like it was like that pre 9/11 when they could be like as macho and blow shit up as they wanted without like rip. You know what I mean? There was no like, oh, they're real bad guys and we're actually maybe them. And there was none of that like moral ambiguity.
Yeah.
It was just like,
We're gonna blow stuff
yeehaw,
up,
motherfuckers. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh man. What's the there's a movie called Striking Distance with Bruce Willis and Sarah Jessica Parker where Bruce Willis plays a river cop in Pittsburgh.
A river cop?
Yeah, well, he's a real cop, and then he gets busted down to river cop for reasons I'll leave up for the movie. You got to see it to know. But it is not good. But man, what a cast! It's like every '80s actor that you could possibly think about. I think Andre Brower's in it. I think Dennis Farina's in it. Timothy Busfield from 30 something is in it. Like there's just all sorts of like 90s goodness slash badness. Bruce Willis was in a bunch of those bad movies. Last Action Hero is another one that he was in.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking
Yeah.
of when you
Damon
were talking
Wayans,
about
yeah.
that.
So really
I love
weird
how
movie as
all
well.
of your movie recs tonight are like, it's absolutely terrible. Oh my
Mhm.
god, it's so bad, but you should watch it.
I really do wish that we could watch previews on Twitch. It's one of my big like things that makes no sense to me. I'm like, it's a fucking ad for your movie. We're getting people to watch your movie. Why can't we watch the trailer?
I didn't
But
know
they'll
that.
take it off. Yeah, they'll say it's a copyright violation.
It's
That's
an
the
ad for
dumbest
the
thing
movie.
ever.
It's an ad for the movie. It's also a movie from 1993. Like,
Right.
how much more money can this person possibly
I will
make?
say, my friends over at Shushy Cinema, which is another channel here on Twitch, tell me they show previews all the time and they never get dinged for it ever. So Justin, who runs that page, is like, you should just show previews always. But
Yeah.
we don't do that here. Maybe one day, but not tonight.
Just not brave enough just yet.
Not tonight. Not tonight.
We don't have lawsuit monies.
Not yet. What a media-filled show. We talked about books and movies and fads from our childhoods. And what a fun time. And now it is time to say goodnight. final words or thoughts from any of you or from all of you before we call it an evening?
I'm really glad that you brought up those color changing gloves, man, because holy shit, you unlocked a lockbox of childhood nostalgia in mine brain space.
Yeah, and I'm just going to be having like a beautiful mind moment, figuring out the pieces of Shazam doesn't exist in Berenstain, and what are these 90s things that I think were real but aren't real. I'm excited for it. I'm pretty excited for it.
Nice. Rachel?
I'm probably just gonna go to bed. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, no, I hear you. That is a valid choice.
I don't try to get nostalgic for my childhood that often, but it's like fun to do. I'm like, oh, I don't usually do this.
Yeah, I don't usually get nostalgic for my childhood, but I do like to go back and watch some of the things that I used to love to watch then and see whether they hold up and know that some of them probably don't. And I really appreciate that. And I think that's what it's all about. Marion, good night, my friend. And good night to everybody else out there in chat land. What a fun show. I hope you learned something. I hope you have something to take with you. A recommendation, a memory, a link to get Freezy Freakies, anything like that. Until next week, friends. I'll see everybody then. Bye, everybody. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.